You are listening to Be Honest Sis, the podcast, where we have open and honest conversations about life, love, healing, and holding it all together. Let's get into it.
Welcome to Be Honest Sis, the podcast. We are so happy to welcome you to our very first episode entitled I'm Tired. I'm Jennifer.
And I'm Christina.
And together we're going to explore topics that we always think about but sometimes never speak upon. We promise to be as honest and unfiltered as possible, having raw, real conversations. We hope that you find it as a place of laughter, but also a place of support, a place where you hear honest conversations every day, each time you log in. So let's get into it.
So sis, I know when I am on social media, I scroll all up and down on social media, and I see a lot of people, particularly women, saying how tired they are.
Mm-hmm.
Whether they're tired at work, whether they're tired from home life, whether they're just tired in general. The consensus seems to be like people are just tired. And so the other day I posted a picture on social media for all of you all who follow us on TWO Be Honest Sis on social media. I posted a picture of what tired looks like to some people, right? And for all of you who don't know, that was actually a picture of you.
Unfiltered.
An unfiltered, raw picture of you who just looked like you were exhausted. Tell us about that picture.
Well, to be honest, she posted a picture of me in my true exhaustion moment. If you know me, and you know me well, you know I'm terrified of birds. So we happened to be enjoying a weekend at the pool, and a bat decided to interfere in my relaxation. I was trying to de-stress, and then it caused me more stress. And so when I say I turned that pool out, that pool was turned out.
And so, you in turning the pool out, like, how did that cause
I was
a
exhausted.
moment
It was a
of
moment.
exhaustion? So were you like in flight or fright mode?
I was
or
in
like,
all of it.
What was it?
You know, they say fight, flight, freeze. I was fighting.
She was fighting, y'all.
I was freezing.
Like, I had to freaking cradle her like she was a baby in the pool because she was gonna drown herself.
And then when nothing else worked, I ran. So that was my flight. I took off. And so that picture that you so beautifully posted,
I thank you for allowing me the moment
is afterwards
to tie it
when
into
I was
this
hiding
podcast.
behind the car and I was completely out of breath. So I think that's a wonderful segue into our episode, I'm Tired.
An amazing precursor to this first episode. So let's get into it. Other than you being exhausted and tired from running from a bat at the pool, like, do you feel yourself in a state of tiredness?
I do. And what I will say is that it transcends beyond just tired. And we've talked about this before. I feel like I have been exhausted.
Mm-hmm.
I think I'm in a place now where I'm working through that exhaustion. But yeah, it is like beyond tired.
Like, what are some
exhaustion.
things that are causing the tiredness? Can you talk about that?
So if I'm being honest, I will say the last 2.5 years, a lot of people don't know, but I've been through a lot. Both mentally, physically, emotionally, definitely spiritually, just trying to find peace in the midst of chaos, trying to manage and maintain my everyday life. A lot of people don't know that I became a caregiver to my parents, that they lived with me for almost 2 years, about 1.5 years. And I think for me, that was the breaking point. I feel like in that 2.5 years,
Year and a half.
No, total.
Oh, total, gotcha.
Total, the total span. The 1.5 years of them physically living with me, but the 2.5 years in total from that moment till now,
Gotcha.
I was not in a good space. I was literally tired, and then it turned into exhaustion, and it turned into like, to the point where I was like, why am I crying for no reason? Why am I depressed? Why am I sad? Why was I finding anger when the situation may not have caused for anger? And then, you know, now that I'm coming on the other side of it, I'm able to kind of look back and see, not only was it the caregiver piece, and a lot of what was going on with me, I could probably do several episodes about. And we are going to explore it, like being a caregiver, you know. But I also realized in this 2.5 year process that physically my body was changing. You know, I can do a whole episode on perimenopause. Like, at the time, I did not put that word to some of the physical stuff that was happening to me. But when you have drained your cup of giving, your cup of living, your cup of thriving, your cup of caring, when you have drained it to that, it's just a drop left. You know, you have nothing else to give, and more importantly, you have nothing to give yourself.
Right.
And so, I would say in these last 2.5 years, it took me down, and it manifests in ways I never thought as a person that would happen to me, like panic attacks. Like, what the heck is that? And just to be transparent, I can't drive now. Like, I drive a certain bubble.
Welcome to my world.
Like, but before 2.5 years ago, I could pretty much drive anywhere as long as it wasn't the Bay Bridge, the
St. Louis Bridge,
the St. Louis Bridge. You know, as long as it wasn't
Woodrow Wilson Bridge.
No, that's new. But, you know, as long as it wasn't a super high climbing spooky bridge, I could do it. I could go anywhere. You know, there were times when my sister be scared. I'd be like, girl, get on, get pull over, and I would drive. But there has been a significant shift in my life that I am navigating through. But what about you?
Girl, let me tell you, I had to write my notes in my phone. Like, I had to write a list of the things that I'm tired of. I am tired of being everything to everyone. I am tired of carrying the weight of the world on my shoulders. You know that song that say you gotta get that, they say dirt off your shoulders, but I'm saying weight off my shoulders. I'm tired of people not being people of their word. I'm tired of people making excuses, but not holding up their end of the bargain. I'm tired of holding grown folks' hands. Tired. I am tired of trying to live up to other people's expectations. I'm tired of being strong and hard all the time. I was not created to be strong and hard all the time. Like, I feel like I should have the freedom to be fragile, because when people handle things that are fragile, they handle them with care. And I feel like I'm not always handled with care. And so that's what I'm tired of that. I am tired of being brushed off when I want to speak up. I'm tired of fighting to be seen, heard, and loved. I'm tired of people taking my kindness for weakness. Girl, when I say I can keep going on, I can keep going on. Because I'm tired, sis. I'm tired. It is not only a physical tiredness, it is a mentally, I am mentally tired. And I'm also just, I'm not spiritually tired. I am mentally and physically tired. And I think for me, it comes from a lack of support. I've been a single parent pretty much all of my adult life. And I've learned along the way that I don't always have the help that I should have. And so it's very hard for me to ask for help, because it's just like when I do ask for help, it's always something. It's always an excuse. Oh, I got this going on. Everybody else's life is so much more important than mine. And I get it, right? But at some point in time, as a woman, as a person, you just get tired.
Yeah.
Like, I love my kids. Don't get me wrong. I love my family. But sometimes you just get tired. And like you said, as a caregiver, you know, there was a point in time in my life before my parents went to live with you that I felt like I was there, everything. Everything was, Christina, do this. And if y'all know my father, he didn't say Christina, he said, Cortina. But like, it was always an expectation of me to always give. And you just mentioned how you were pouring from an empty vessel. That's how I felt every day. Every day it got to a point where I'm just like, I don't have anything to give you, let alone me.
Mm-hmm.
So when you get in situations like that, like, what do you do? Like, how do you get to a point where when you are exhausted, how do you get out of that exhaustion? How do you get out of that season of tiredness?
Well, I want to go back for a second because when I would talk to other people would say similar stories. And I started to think about that, and I said, it's almost like a season. We're in a season of tiredness. And for us to be Black women, I think it is especially tiring for us.
Yes, I would agree.
To be all for everyone in every platform
Every
of
aspect
of our life. At work, to be seen and valued and heard at work. That's a struggle.
It's a struggle. It's a big struggle.
It is a big struggle.
And unless you've ever sat in our shoes, you can articulate that to people at work all day long, and they won't understand.
Yeah.
Especially men.
Yeah.
Like they don't understand until you've lived in our shoes. You don't understand.
Yeah.
You know.
And to present yourself as your authentic self.
So are you saying
hard.
Are you saying like when you're at work or when we're at work, we have to kind of put a mask on?
Oh yeah.
To show up and present.
Absolutely.
You might be Jenny at work.
Absolutely.
Instead of Jennifer.
Not. Yeah.
Oh, you might be Jenny at work. You might be.
I might be. Yes. But yeah, I mean, there's the switch you turn on when you're at work, and the switch that you turn off when you're among people that you're comfortable with.
Correct.
And that's tiring.
It's tiring.
To play two sides or to tone down what you really want to be or who you
Really
know
are.
you are, to appease the masses. You know, I remember the first time I colored my hair blonde, and when I did it, I was like, yes, you know, loving this. And then I went to work and I was like, oh, you know, will it be received
exactly
well?
Yeah.
And you know, there was some because if anybody know me or watch me or been around me, I've been through the rainbow of colors.
Yes,
I've been
have.
Pink, I've been yellow, I've been blue.
I was gonna say you had a little blue.
I've been purple, and you know, I'll come in the work setting, and before I come in, I'm like, yes, I'm that woman. And
You're
then
here.
when I get in, there has been a comment or two about my hair color. Be like, oh well, your hair color. I wish I could do that. It looks so pretty on you, but it wouldn't translate well with the higher ups. And I'm like, what? You
I
know,
felt that same exact way,
and
time and time again.
you over time you get tired of that.
You get
You're
tired
like,
of
I'm
it.
tired of watering down who
I am or who I choose to be in this moment.
appease
Yeah.
you or somebody else or society. And so I feel like there is a season of tiredness across a lot of different areas. I think there's a season of people being tired of where they are and scared to launch out into what could possibly be the next step, because you know there's fear in it. So I think it's more than just I'm exhausted physically. It is, like I said, it is many levels. It is the physical, the mental, the spiritual, the emotional, and just the weight of carrying so much all at once. But yeah, so you asked me the question, how do you overcome it?
Right. Like what I heard you say in the beginning was, you said that 2.5 years or a year and a half ago you were in this place. But it sounded like you're not quite in that space right now. Like you might have moments, but you seem like you've overcome. So what have you done? Like when you find yourself in a season of tiredness, what do you do to help you?
Yeah. Well, I think the first thing is you got to recognize.
Ooh.
You have to recognize it. And for me, I had to recognize it because there's a difference between being tired and being burnt out. Tired is, in my opinion, something that happens, you have a reaction to it, you start being tired, but you can kind of bounce back from it, and you can kind of bounce back quickly. When you get to the part where you're burnt out or you're exhausted, this is cumulative. So this is something that has been impacting you maybe from different avenues. So maybe you're physically tired, and then it's emotional, and then it's mental, and then it's spiritual. So it's like cumulative that creeps up on you, and then you look at a year or so later and you're like, no, I'm not tired. I am exhausted. I am burnt out. And when you get to that point, that's when you really, I'm not going to say in trouble, but in a way you are. But when you start off and say, I'm tired, I always tell people your body is going to tell you.
Yeah.
And
Absolutely.
you have to be able to recognize the signs of your body telling you, hey, I'm getting a little tired.
I'm going to tell you right now. Right now, my body is telling me I'm tired. I'm going through a moment right now. My back is a little jacked. And I think it's because I decided to try to help my sister from drowning the other day.
And I thank you for that.
I saw how valuable your life was, and I needed to make sure that you did not lose it. Because we needed you. This world needs you. However, you paid the price.
You paid the price.
My body is telling me. My body is telling me right now that it's not in alignment of where it should be. But I think for me, yes, my body does tell me when I'm tired, and it's not just I need to go to sleep tired, because I think there's a difference between a tired where I just give me a night, let me sleep uninterrupted, and then you wake up and you're great. But I think sometimes it is I'm tired that, for me, case in point. So I got divorced almost a year ago. Like next month it'll be a whole year, and I don't have a space for me. Like I don't have me time. I pretty much have my children 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. I know that sounds a little crazy, but outside of me going to work and me, finding things to get myself involved in, I am 100% all in for my kids.
Right.
And so my tiredness comes from that. I am tired of just like every day having to remember somebody's schedule, having to remember my own schedule. Like I feel like lately I have dropped so many balls because I am juggling and I can't juggle. Like I have 2 hands, I have 2 feet. I can't be in 6 places at one time. I can't take you here, there, and everywhere. So for me, my tired out might be a little bit more of a burnt out maybe. Because I'm just doing too much by myself. And so for me, I have had, over the years, I've had a very, very hard time asking for help. Like I said earlier, because normally when I ask for help, the people that I have been asking help for has always had some type of excuse or whatever. But the wonderful thing that I have realized in the past few weeks is I have a village. And my village is so important, not only to me, but to my children. And I have to put my pride aside and just speak up and say, hey guys, I need help.
Right.
There's been times when I've always almost been in tears because I can't figure out how to do this or how I'm gonna get this done. And the moment you ask for help, like, it's like from my lips to God's ears. He like answers. So my village really, really has stepped up this summer for me and my children. And I'm very grateful for that. Like, you have stepped up. My cousins have stepped up. My friends have stepped up. And that is something that means so much more to me than you all probably will ever understand. Because as a single mother, when you feel like it is just you, I don't know if you saw the Tyler Perry movie, Straw.
Yeah.
Some people couldn't resonate with Taraji's character in that movie. I could. Like, when you feel like it is just you, and you got to get to work so you can make that money, so that child can have this money for X, Y, and Z. Like, when you feel like it is just you, and you don't have no outside help, it could get to a point where you are so exhausted and you're so consumed that you might come get to your breaking point. I thank God that I have not gotten to the breaking point like she had gotten to a breaking point.
Right.
But I can, like, there were moments of that movie that resonated. Like, and I feel like I'm not the only one. I feel like we're not the only one who have been in this season of tiredness.
No, and we're not. Like I said before, the more I talk to people, the more I find that a lot of people are struggling with being tired, being in a place of emotional instability because of many factors. And, you know, I said it earlier, this past 2.5 years really made me take a look at myself. You know, turn the lens on myself, and my body made me do it. It warned me, and I continued to push through,
push, because that's
like
what
we do.
Yeah.
Until it hit the breaking point. And a lot of people don't know that, you know, and so I had to make a lot of fundamental changes to preserve Jennifer.
So what was one of those fundamental changes that you
So first off, I work a job that is reactive, like go all the time, all day. And so I had already built in I call it like a stress meter. And when I am stressed, the first sign my body gives me is the tension in my shoulders.
Yes, me too.
Yep.
I knew you were going there.
For a lot of people, that probably is your
That's
first
that
sign.
weight on the
that
you're carrying the weight of the world
you
on
are
your
stressed.
shoulders.
Your shoulders, for me, my shoulders get super tense. They feel like they're up to my ears. Typically, I recognize it. And what I do about it is I work out, go to the gym. That is my stress reliever. I sweat, I play music, I lift, I run, I take a cardio class, whatever. I have to be.
As well, don't
I do Pilates now. Whatever gets my heart rate going, and then it gets that stress off me, and I typically have a good night's sleep. If that doesn't work, and I'm still stressed, it manifests in my dreams. That's the second sign. There has been some nights where I'm hollering out, you know, because I'm having a dream, and that dream is always about me saving somebody, always. And when I wake up the next day, I see it as another sign, be like, my body is trying to tell me that I'm overwhelmed in this moment. So in the last 2.5 years, I was getting those signs, but I was a caregiver. I work in a job that is reactive. The expectation is, and I have been told, it's your job. I have been told you got to do it. And so I kept pushing. The breaking point was for me when I just didn't feel right emotionally. A lot of crying, like I said before. I'd be like, what the heck am I crying about? Like, I am a crier. I can cry. But the amount and the level of just like me crying and feeling
It
overwhelmed.
was just too heavy. It was so heavy.
And I couldn't articulate, or I couldn't figure out what this was. This was new for me. And normally if I'm super stressed, I'm able to bounce back, and I couldn't bounce back. And I'm going to be honest. I was like, the only thing that's going to fix this is for me to talk to someone about it. Professionally, I am a social worker. And some of the worst people to admit they need help is social workers. I am not going to lie. We'll tell everybody else to go get some help, but we won't get no help ourselves. But I am an advocate for talking to someone to get a lot of stuff off your chest. And caregiving was the straw that broke my back. That was my straw. Because I was handling and dealing with so much, and then to add that on top of it. And then because they were living with me, my typical stress reliever, which was the gym,
you didn't have time.
I didn't have that anymore. So I had nowhere to place this additional stress. And so I am in a better place because I have an avenue to really talk about it.
That's great.
And get that additional support.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah. So I am a big advocate for if something doesn't feel right, if you don't feel right, it's okay to say I'm not okay. I finally had to say to myself, I'm not okay. I told it to you. I am not okay.
Yeah. I think for me, I normally recognize mine when I get snappy. And I don't mean to always be snappy. And I think in women, our snappiness comes off as being angry or being frustrated, when really the underlining is I'm tired. Like I'm tired. And so what I found that I do is I have always been able to release through music. And so whether it is me going to choir rehearsal, whether it is me ministering, sorry guys, whether it is me ministering on Sunday mornings, during church, or whether it's me just in my car. Like there's been so many times on my way to work that I might have my praise and worship music on and the tears are falling. Whether I am singing to the top of my lungs, like the Lord said, make a joyful noise, whatever the case may be, I release through praise and worship. Like put on a good gospel playlist, and it's like God knows the order of the songs to play. Like today, I'm reminded we were at church today and we were warming up and found out one of the songs that we were going to sing, and sooner or later it's going to turn in your favor. Like no matter what I'm going through in the moment, if I'm just reminded of something as simple as that, sooner or later, it's going to turn in my favor. It might be hard today. It might be hard tomorrow. Like I'm going through a storm right now, and it's a quiet storm, but I am not in the place now where I was before. Like I know that if I pray about it, if I seek the Lord and I turn it over to Him, it's going to be all right. When I feel like I'm so overwhelmed and so exhausted mentally, it's because I'm holding on to things that I'm not supposed to hold on to. And so I am so grateful that I have that release through praise and worship, through church, through a spoken word. There's times I'll go and listen to podcasts or sermons or something that is going to be inspirational to get me back to where I need to be. I'm reminded of the scripture. This is one of my all-time favorite scriptures, Galatians 6:9. Let us not grow weary in doing good, for we will reap if we faint not. And I know sometimes we always, want to get to the point where it's just like, you know what, I'm done. I can't do this anymore. I give up. I throw up my hands, like I'm done. But if we just don't grow weary, like we're going to reap the benefit. Like we are going to get to the point where we're going to look back and be like, y'all remember for that whole year, I was exhausted. I was just existing. I wasn't living. I wasn't thriving. I was just existing. Like we're going to get to that point where we're going to look back and say, look where we came from. You know what I mean? And so I think as not just us, as others, I think one of the things that people could do to help them in that season, you brought up a very good point. Go to therapy. Go to seek out a counselor. Talk to somebody who's not a family member all the time. You know, sometimes you need an outside perspective.
Yeah, and one thing that I do like in this climate right now is that people are peeling back the stigma of getting and asking and seeking help,
especially in the Black community.
Especially in the
for
Black
many
community.
many years that was very frowned upon. I feel.
Yeah, I mean, it was a taboo conversation. It was like, oh no, we keep our problems inside the
Right.
house. And
What happens in this house stays in this
and
house.
sometimes inside the house is where all the problems were.
Correct.
And so you're keeping it inside the house, so you're not really doing anything to help
Right.
yourself. But especially with men, I feel encouraged that more men, especially Black men, are saying, hey,
Yes.
I recognize that I need to be talking through a lot of stuff that I'm going through. And then another thing is, I like to say is take care of yourself first. You know, I talked before that if you don't, your body's going to tell you. And if you don't, your body is going to make you refocus. And so, you know, take care of yourself. You got some background situations
Singing in the background.
But to go back to it, take care of yourself. So, like, for instance, for me, Sundays are self-care Sundays. Point blank and simple. I had to develop that. After, you know, going through what I've gone through, I decided on Sundays, those are my day to do something special for me.
Awesome.
And it don't have to be big. It don't have to be, oh, I'm going to do a massage and go get this and that, because everybody's situation, finances may be different. For me, it's I take a nice shower or a nice bubble bath. I run my bubbles. I light my candles. I have grown to appreciate the power of candles. You know, I got a little waterfall situation next to my bed. I have the candles. I have the waterfall. I can hear it from my bathroom, and I close my eyes. I'm somewhere tropical. Long walks, you know, whereas before I would walk Pepper and be like, come on, Pepper, you know, better go now. You know, now we take a mile walk, and I feel the breeze on my skin, feel the sun on my face. I put on my favorite music, and we just walk, and you'll be surprised how the smallest things, if you're intentional about it, can really change your mood. And so, just take care of yourself. And then when it comes to work, what I've done to change me and how I respond and how I work is when I'm off, I'm off.
Oh, yes.
Like, I'm off right now.
Oh, yes.
I don't pick
Where's
up
your
that
work
phone.
phone?
It ain't here.
That's right.
It is not here.
That's right.
I have to do that.
You have to set boundaries.
You have to set boundaries. And I think that's part of how do you get beyond feeling tired? How do you get beyond feeling exhausted? It comes from setting good boundaries for yourself. And yeah, some people may not.
They're not going to like it. When you set boundaries, when you had never had boundaries before?
Yeah.
Oh, people don't like
People
that.
don't like it, but guess what? You're going to like it. Your body is going to like it. Your mental health is going to like that. So setting boundaries, and this is what I'm still working on, is being comfortable with saying no. And how that no is going to impact others. They may not like it, like you said, but you know what? It's okay. They'll get over it.
I literally was going to say, one of the things that I've had to learn, and I hope that you can take away from this podcast as well, say no to things that do not serve you. There are times that we say yes to everything, right? Say no. No is a complete sentence. It does not need to have any other explanation. No. And if you don't like it, sucks to be you.
Right. So I'm still working on that piece.
I am too. It's an ongoing thing.
It is. I mean, but isn't life ongoing?
Yes.
The development of you as a person doesn't stop once you turn 18.
Yeah. How about this one? Here's something else that I feel like people can do. We can do. Give yourself permission to do nothing.
Oh yeah.
I am a person that I feel like I always have to do something. And when I'm not doing something, I'm either being unproductive or I'm being lazy. Because there are a million things. I got a million things that I could be doing. Oh my goodness, I could have been cleaning the bathroom right now instead of watching this season of Paradise. But it is okay to give yourself permission to stop and do absolutely nothing. I've found so much clarity in the moments when I'm not doing anything because my brain has slowed down. My creative side has started to pick back up now that I'm actually taking that moment to rest and do nothing. Yeah. And so I'm just like, oh my goodness, Christina, you have a side of you that not a lot of people even know. Let's get back into this creativity and see what produces from it. So I'm excited, not only about this podcast, but about some other things that are becoming down the pipe for me, just because I recognize that I was in a season of tiredness and that I have made great strides to get out of that season.
Well, you are right. You know, sometimes you feel guilty in resting. And the other day, my daughter Gabby was like, "Mama, won't you just sit down? You know, like you moving around. What are you doing? Just sit down and rest." She said, "Today is rest and relaxation." And I sat down for a minute and was like, "I don't even know what that is, but I need to do more of it." You know, she's watching me like, as she called, do too much.
You doing too much.
You doing too much. And so, you know, recognize that there may be some guilt if you feel like I can't just sit here and watch a whole season of nothing. You know, I should be washing clothes. Maybe you need to. Maybe you just need to sit still and rest and relax.
Absolutely.
You know? Nothing, if you do not rest, you are not able to help others, do whatever it is that you think you need to do if you're not well rested. So take the time to rest. Take the time to take care of yourself. Take the time if you are struggling mentally. Take the time to talk to someone. And I have massaged in my family that mental health wellness is nothing to be ashamed of.
Absolutely.
Like, my kids know, my husband know, Mama go to therapy. Jen go to therapy. You know, when Liv is having a difficult time, my very first suggestion is you might want to talk to somebody about it. Or if Gabby's going through a difficult time, I'm like, you might want to talk to somebody about it. I will not allow counseling or mental wellness to be a taboo in my house. Because then you're just suffering in silence. And that's not the place where you want people to be. So
I may not be at that level with my family, but the one thing I do is, as a mother, I can recognize when something is off. I can look at each one of my children and say, this one is a little too quiet today, or this one is a little bit more snarky today. And I try to foster a relationships with them where they can feel open and honest to just come to me about anything. I got some that's in those stage in them years that it's like I gotta go poke at it a little bit to get them to like open up. But I am blessed to be able to have children who, even if I poke, it shows that I'm concerned. It shows that I don't want you to hold that in, because holding things in turn into manifest into something else later. So I might not be at the place where I'm offering, hey, go to counseling, guys. But I want them to know that I do have a platform for them to come and sit and, you know, commune with me. So,
and sometimes that is the start of healing. That is the start of not being overwhelmed or not being tired or exhausted.
And I feel like I didn't have that growing up. So I feel like that's really, really good.
Yeah, I mean, the start of anything, especially for me, when I realized that I was struggling and that I was exhausted, it was to find that safe space to say those words. I am not okay. And to have it land with people who weren't like, we'll figure it out. Sucks to be you.
Or
you know,
brushing it off.
Brushing it off. They really, you know, I have a really good group of friends around me who rallied around me, family who rallied around me, because I was hiding this, what was really going on with me. To be honest, I didn't recognize it. And it was probably almost a full year of just me struggling before I recognized it in myself. And then for me to build up the courage to say, I'm not okay.
Right.
And so that's the first thing. You got to have that safe space to share that you're not good, that you're tired, that you're exhausted.
I would say to anyone listening or anyone watching, if you are tired, you're not alone. It is not something that is just happening to you. I'm pretty sure if you look to your left or you look to your right, someone else is probably experiencing it actively right now or have experienced it before. So I want you to remember that you do deserve rest. Whether it's rest in your body, whether it's rest in your mind, rest in your soul, you deserve rest. So my challenge for you all is to just take 5 minutes a day. Like, start with 5 minutes. Put your phone down, put your electronics down, get away from the laptop, the iPad, put it down for 5 minutes. Close your eyes and just breathe. Listen to the birds chirping, listen to the wind that is blowing through the trees. Just become like one in the moment. Like, just give yourself 5 minutes of just you time. Whether it's locking yourself in a bathroom for that 5 minutes, because Lord knows there's time where I've had to lock myself in a bathroom and somebody's still knocking. No, like, just take 5 minutes. If it's 5 minutes sitting in your car before you go into the house, take 5 minutes for you. That will be my suggestion and what I would ask for people, because what I don't want to see is for anyone to be so tired that they feel like they can't go on anymore.
Yeah. And I would say, take your darn leave.
No, that's right.
You get that PTO, stop hoarding it, take your time off.
Yes.
And more importantly, do something that brings you joy.
Yes.
Because the remedy for tiredness is to find something that brings you joy. Because that reinvigorates you. And so for me, it is laughter. For me, it is good music. It's singing. It's being around people that I care about. So find what it is that you find joy in, that makes you happy, that makes you smile, and do that. And take your freaking time off from work. Work will be there whether you are there or not.
Think it won't.
So remember that, and just, take care of yourself.
Remind yourself that you are not what you produce. You are not who you please, and you are not what you carry. I love affirmations. I love to remind myself that I am loved. I am whole. I am everything that God created me to be. And so just speak life over yourself. Speak joy into yourself and others. Like, that's one of the most important things, that we not only recognize when we are tired, but we recognize when other people around us are tired. And just offer them some help. Offer them a kind word, a smile. You just never know what other people around you are going through. So just please be intentional to not only pay attention to you, but pay attention to others. I think that is very important in this day and age that we live in. So if this episode resonated with you, please feel free to share it, like it, subscribe to our YouTube page, To Be Honest Sis. We are so grateful that we had this moment to just sit down and just be open and transparent with you. To Be Honest Sis will drop its next episode in the next few weeks, so please look out for that. Share this with your loved ones. You have any last thoughts?
Be great. Take care of yourselves. Please come back. We have more that we want to share, so come back, join us next week. Next 2 weeks, when we drop our episode.
Just remember to keep showing up for you, keep showing up for others, but only within your own constraints. Until next time,
This is trying to kick some words up.
this
Some
is
rhymes.
until next time. This is To Be Honest Sis. Thanks.
Real talkers love real highs, real dips. It's a vibe every time on To Be Honest. Sis.